Major League Baseball's best story is the Detroit Tigers. There is no doubt about that. A team that sold at the deadline, squeaked into the playoffs, playing the best baseball of any team in the American League. They're not just on a fairy tale run right now. They have a legitimate chance to go deep in the playoffs because they're playing fantastic right now. So we'll break it down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and what a win yesterday by the Detroit Tigers. So impressive. We knew that they had a chance going into it because Tarik Skubal was on the mound for them, and he's going to win the Cy Young. He won the Triple Crown in the American League, and in his biggest start of his career, he stepped up and he showed out yet again. And there was talk about whether or not the pressure could get to him. He hasn't really pitched in too many meaningful games, but that all dissipated at the end of the regular season when he helped the Tigers get to the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. Before we get into the video, I want to let you know that around 97% of you watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So it would mean the world to me if you can go ahead, hit that sub button. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a ton. We're very close to my goal of 1,500 subscribers, and I wanted to give some love to the Detroit Tigers today, so let's not waste any time. Let's take a look at the line for Tarik Skubal yesterday. Danced, flirted with a little bit of trouble. There was some traffic on the base paths for Houston, but ultimately a day in which he was just dominant and against a team that has so much playoff experience, a lot of World Series titles. It could have been easy to fold, and it could have been easy to say, all right, we earned ourselves an extra 2 games in the season, but it's okay. Let's move on and let's roll over for the defending champs or previous champs, I should say. And they didn't do that. Tarik Skubal was the catalyst yesterday, and just a great performance out of him. Yet again, you'd expect nothing less from the AL Cy Young winner. This is a tweet here from Ben Verlander, whose brother is on the Houston Astros. Didn't make the roster, of course, but the fact that he's tweeting about the opposing team, kind of weird, in my opinion, but whatever. We'll take it. Just your friendly reminder that Tarik Skubal is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He is a bad, bad man. Usually don't agree with what Ben Verlander has to say, but I agree with him there. Tarik Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball, and it hasn't really been close. Let's take a look at just the numbers, the way that he's performed, and the overall stuff as well. Like, it'd be cool if he had 95 and he was, putting up the numbers that he's putting up. But no, he's got 99 to 100 from the left side. He's got one of the filthiest changeups that I've ever seen. And the control to go with it. If you take a look at this line right here, only 1 walk. Didn't really get into too many deep counts either. I mean, the pitch count was really efficient through 3 innings, but then he ran into some trouble, and he ran into the top of the order. But it's okay, because it's the Houston Astros, and it's not supposed to be easy, but Tarik Skubal made it look as easy as anyone has ever made it look in the past half-decade against Houston. Let's move on now to this tweet from Emily Walden, which I found very interesting. So Tyler Holton, who threw a third of an inning yesterday, and is going to be starting the game today. He is a relief pitcher, so acting as more of an opener rather than a starter, but he was a 9th-round pick. Tarik Skubal, 9th-round pick. Will Vest, who got 5 massive outs yesterday, 12th-round pick. And Bo Brisky, who came on to close it out, who got through that bases-loaded jam by getting Jason Hayward to line out to Spencer Torkelson. He was a 27th-round pick. All playing in the postseason. You can't always predict a draft slot. Now, you can't. The draft is very unpredictable, and I'm sure they didn't predict those guys to become very valuable relievers down the line, or in Tarik Skubal's case, a Cy Young winner. But what I love about the Tigers and what makes them so easy to root for is the fact that they're just a homegrown ball club. They're a bunch of guys that came through the system together. They're a team filled of great vibes right now, a lot of young players, And they got rid of some veterans at the deadline, whether it's Andrew Chafin, Jack Flaherty, Mark Canha. They got rid of a lot of guys and sort of overhauled this roster. But instead of rolling over, instead of giving up on the season after the front office gave up on them, I mean, those young guys stepped up and found another gear, rallying behind Tarik Skubal, who's the best pitcher in baseball. I guess that helps. That's a big psychological advantage having that guy on your team. They went what 18-3 in his starts or something ridiculous like that. They won the majority of his starts, and he gives them a chance every time he's out there. But then everybody else, what are you getting from everybody else in the rotation, from Reese Olson? Like you just don't know what you're getting after Tarik Skubal, and that's what makes this even more impressive. They're going with an opener today in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series when they have a chance to wrap it up. Not because they don't have any options, but that's just because they've been playing that way all season long. And they're aggressive, and they remind me a lot of the Detroit Lions, the way that they play. Just aggressive. They have their style that they're going to employ, and there is nothing that you can do to stop it. Like Dan Campbell, maybe sometimes the aggressiveness gets the best of him, but they made the NFC Championship game last year, and they turned around the history books that have not been very kind to the Detroit Lions in years past. So you could talk about maybe the unconventional way that AJ Hinch goes about this, but he's a very smart manager. He really is, and AJ Hinch is such an elite manager. This was tweeted by an Astros fan yesterday, and yeah, AJ Hinch just finds ways to win. He makes do with the talent that he is given, and I'm really proud of the Tigers. I can't believe that they are in this situation, but they are, and they're just getting better and better. I don't know if they win today. I don't know if they win the series, but the fact that they got game one and put the pressure on Houston, that's all you could have asked for. That was best case scenario. I thought they had a chance. I actually bet on them to win the game yesterday, and it got dicey there at the end. But again, these young players without too much major league experience, they they showed a lot of heart and a lot of courage, and the fact that they were able to get out of that ninth inning unscathed with second and third no outs, like it was very impressive, and you got to give them all the credit in the world, and give AJ Hinch a lot of credit as well. Just so impressive, and you take a look at what Tarik Skubal did yesterday. He's in rarefied air with Justin Verlander with 6 innings pitched, zero earned runs, less than two walks in a postseason game for the Tigers. Not a very long list there, but Tarik Skubal, when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the greats in Detroit franchise history. That's how good he is. And that's how important he is to this team. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Shout out to the Tigers, man. Really impressive. Really, really impressive. And I hope that they could win today and wrap up the series. That'd be really cool. But thanks, guys, for making it this far again. Make sure to hit the sub button. Large majority of you watching are not subscribed, so it'd mean the world to me. And thank you to Baseball Town as well. They got 3 locations in Canada, or baseballtown.ca. They're your one-stop shop for everything that you need baseball or softball related. They got you covered. The best equipment at the most competitive prices. So check them out today. And I'll see you all later today. Go Tigers.